Hey everybody, I want to talk about something that I think is actually hugely valuable to people who are dealing with narcissists or otherwise cluster B disordered individuals. It has to do with the Johnny Depp trial or hearing, whatever you want to call it, and a key pivotal mistake. And I don't even really want to call it a mistake, but I'll tell you that what Johnny Depp did wrong that triggered all of these borderline episodes and all of the drama that unfolded after Australia. So I want to talk about what caused the Australia drama and everything else that followed, okay? Now, Amber Heard was diagnosed as borderline personality disorder. That's a cluster B disorder. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is an extension of borderline. So they're both cluster B disorders. However, if you're in cluster B, every disorder in cluster B gets its baseline from the borderline disorder. So in other words, if you have a cluster B disorder, it's pretty much guaranteed you're a borderline, because the other disorders in the cluster B spring up as coping mechanisms for dealing with the borderline symptoms, right? So anybody who is histrionic, which is Amber Heard, the histrionics arises from a maladaptive coping mechanism for dealing with the pain that comes with the borderline disorder, okay? Narcissism arises as a fragile coping mechanism for dealing with the symptoms of borderline personality disorder. Same thing with antisocial personality disorder. The other three disorders are failed coping strategies for trying to manage borderline personality disorder without a diagnosis and without proper professional help and guidance, right? And so that's basically Amber Heard. She's not NPD, she doesn't have the narcissistic personality disorder, although there is still plenty of narcissism to be observed there. But we can still use her as an example, because what happened in Australia and everything that has happened to Johnny Depp has arisen from the fact that she's borderline. And when you're dealing with somebody who is a disordered narcissist, a lot of the fallout and the drama that comes with a narcissist is also due to those borderline roots, okay? So, what happened? To understand why things went so bad in Australia and afterwards, you have to understand one key fact about borderlines. The borderline disorder has at its core a very, very deep, visceral fear of abandonment and rejection, okay? And so once that fear of rejection and abandonment is triggered, the reaction and response in the brain is so profound, the actual structure of reality breaks down entirely in their brain. And so now you have this angry person with no grip on reality, okay? And yes, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's pretty much all you need to know for this video. And so in Australia, what happened? Australia was when Johnny Depp approached Amber Heard with what's known as a post-nuptial agreement, right? We've all heard of prenups. You know, before you get married, you sign an agreement that, hey, if you marry a super rich person and you marry them, if the marriage fails for any reason, both parties walk away with everything that they had beforehand and blah, 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 right? Well, what is a post-nup? Well, a post-nup is, hey, we got married, but now that we're married, I don't want you taking my stuff, right? When you present something like that to a borderline, and the way a borderline is going to process that is, this person is about to abandon me, because they're already thinking about what to do, that they're going to take it as a clear sign that a divorce is coming. Because if the divorce wasn't coming, if they thought that divorce wasn't possible, well, then why are you approaching me with this post-nup? Right? And that's pretty much, in my mind at least, it makes absolute perfect sense to me. I would be extraordinarily surprised if someone like Dr. Shannon Curry came back and said, well, the post-nup had nothing to do with it. I would be very surprised. Because you can't just present somebody who's borderline with something so profound like that as a post-nup and not expect for there to be fallout. You can't. So that's what happened. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, or maybe even not, you'll know that in my advice on how to leave narcissists, I always say the same things, right? I say that narcissists are like a gypsy curse. You can't get rid of them. You can only give them to somebody else. I also say that the best way to leave them is you want to get discarded, right? You don't want to be the one to reject them, because at the end of the day, your objective is going to be met no matter what strategy you use, right? So it's entirely possible you want to break up with this narcissist. You want them gone, but you handle the situation in such a way where they are the ones discarding you, because at that point, that is so much easier to deal with from your standpoint, right? Because if you dump a narcissist, if you initiate the abandonment, whether you're a narcissist or a histrionic or an antisocial or just a straight borderline, it doesn't matter. That activates that deep, deep, visceral fear of abandonment. And you're gonna get a reaction, right? And so, that's why in all my videos I say, you wanna get discarded, you let them kick you out on the curb, and you're like, no, I don't want, no, please, God, no, don't get, blah, blah. And as soon as they close the door, you jump up and you go jog to a healthy relationship, right? And you don't look back. That's why I say that. Now, in the past, I've had people in the comments that have sounded off and said, well, there's no reason, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, you don't have to do all these things. You can just stand up for yourself and show them that you're not going to be bullied, and show them that you're not one to be messed with and trifled with, and stand your ground. Yeah, fair point. But usually somebody who already possesses such means in their personality typically isn't going to be coming to this channel, right? Because people who already know to stand up for themselves and fight back and all of that usually have the means to resolve these things and resolve these situations with narcissists. And it's not such an easy thing to develop and cultivate, even whenever you're in the middle of all the drama, right? Even Johnny Depp, as prolific of an actor as he is, doesn't have that in him. We hear this in the recordings. As harshly as she is speaking to him and treating him in the recordings, even whenever he's angry, he's still speaking in a very quiet tone, right? So not everybody has that avenue available, in their repertoire of personality traits and skills, So that's what you have to keep in mind here. You can't, when you're dealing with somebody who is a cluster B person, let the Johnny Depp trial and drama and everything, let that be your guiding light as to why I make those recommendations. Okay? Yeah. That's what I got. So anyways, sound off in the comments. Please like, comment, or share. This video is refreshingly shorter than the other ones. I know. It's amazing. So I'll see you guys on the next one.